joined, I suppose, है ना? Nasa ma'am?
No.
She will be joining along with me.
No.
Okay sir,
very nice.
okay. वो सबसे अच्छा
आज विमेन
बात
डे पे
करने
सर
के लिए।
पूरा मौका दे रहे हैं अपने साथ साथ मैम को।
Yes.
जी।
Better off.
I'll just make a call to Dr. Tripti.
Yes, ma'am, that will be better.
Yes, we are on YouTube, ma'am. Now we can start.
Yes. May I start now?
Yeah, please.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to all our esteemed guests, speakers, and participants. Today, we come together to celebrate International Women's Day, a day that holds immense significance in recognizing the achievements and contributions of women worldwide. I, Dr. Geeta Deswal, on behalf of IPGA Women Forum, extend a heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you. Today, we are privileged to be joined by an array of distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, and enthusiastic participants, all coming together to celebrate the spirit of empowerment and progress. Firstly, I would like to extend a heartfelt welcome to our chief guest, Dr. Atul Nashaji, President of IPGA and ex-Deputy Controller of New Delhi. We are also honored to have with us our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. Madhu Nasha, a retired professor known for her charm, care, and grace. Furthermore, a warm welcome to all our esteemed speakers, Dr. Indu Palkor, ma'am, Professor UIPS Punjab University, Chandigarh, and Dr. Deepti Jain, Assistant Drug Controller, Government of Chhattisgarh, who have graciously agreed to share their insights and expertise with us today. Your contributions are invaluable and we are deeply grateful for your presence. Last but certainly not least, a heartfelt welcome to our participants who have joined us from near and far to engage in meaningful discussions and exchange ideas on the theme of empowerment and inclusion. Today's morning carries a very special aura as we gather here to honor the strength and resilience of women. We hope that this morning provide us with an opportunity to truly understand and appreciate the dignity and power of women. International Women's Day serves as a reminder that society is incomplete without the contribution of women. Today, we organize a national conference with the aim of empowering women, shedding light on their talents, and fostering accelerated progress in every sphere. Before we dive into the discussion, let's add some poetic charm on this occasion with a beautiful verse. In the heart of women lies immense power. In the heart of women lies immense power, turning every challenge into a flower. The world's secrets are hidden in their grace. The world's secrets are hidden in their grace. Their hard work lights up every space. Happy International Women's Day to all beautiful and charming women. Dear all, it is now my privilege to invite Dr. Vandana Garg, co-chairperson of IPGA Women Forum and the convener of this esteemed national conference, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, Vandana ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Geeta. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay, a very bright and beautiful morning to one and all present here. Myself, Dr. Vandana Garg, co-chairperson of IPGA Women Forum. It lends me immense pleasure to welcome you all in an insightful virtual international conference on Women Day 2024 on the theme of Empower Her, Motivation for Inclusion to Accelerate the Progress. Today, we are gathered here to celebrate the incredible achievement and contribution of women around the world. As a convener of this event, I extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you who has taken time to join us in this significant occasion. I would also like to thank everyone here today for being part of this prestigious event. I'm delighted to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Atul Nasa, who has accepted our invitation to join us today. Dr. Nasa is working as an head of controlling and licensing authority, ex-deputy director, deputy drug controller in drug control department. Dr. Nasa is also holding a position of president in IPGA. So, sir, your presence here is invaluable. Along with sir, I also welcome Dr. Madhu Nasa, ma'am. She has achieved great success in her field and significantly contributed in her field and community. And it's a tremendous honor to have a distinguished high-level speaker, my teacher, my mentor, Dr. Indupal Kaur from University Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Ma'am, your presence here today is awe-inspiring and it is extremely gratifying from all of us. And definitely your prophetic aura will motivate us in our academic journey. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. I have just made one call to ma'am. We need your lecture, and ma'am said, okay, no issues. So we are thankful to you, ma'am. And we are grateful and obliged with the presence of other distinguished speaker, Dr. Tripti Jain, Assistant Drug Controller, FDA in the government of Chhattisgarh. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation as a keynote speaker. Your presence has enriched the conference, and we appreciate both of you taking time out of your busy schedule to share your thought and expertise with us. I also extend my hearty welcome to Dr. Manju Rawat Singh, Chairperson of IPGA Women Forum, to this event. Ma'am is working as an associate professor in the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Raipur, Chhattisgarh. This is truly all your inspiration, ma'am, that we are celebrating this day, this International Women Day through IPGA Women Forum. And I would like to add here that she is a very, kind or truly affectionate person and versatile woman that I have ever seen in my life. And I also welcome all the zonal coordinator, Dr. Ramanpreet Walia from North Zone side, and Dr. Mahalakshmi, South Zone coordinator, uh, Manumita Pradhan, East Zone coordinator, and Dr. Priya Jain from Central team. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, present here, and making this conference to a grand success. I also welcome the prominent and bright mind, Dr. Geeta Deswal, Professor, Guru Gobind Singh College of Pharmacy, Yamuna. As an organizing secretary, she has worked a lot to make this conference successful. And lastly, a delightful welcome to all the faculty colleagues from different universities and colleges and media reporters and all the dynamic participants and lovely students. As we are celebrating the 49th International Women's Day this year, and it is essential to reflect on the progress we have made and challenges that still lie ahead in the achieving gender equality. The theme decided by United Nations for International Women's Day this year is the Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, while the campaigning theme for the same is Inspire Inclusion. Despite the progress we have seen over the year, the woman has crossed the globe, still faces barriers that hinder their complete participation in different realms of life. On contrary, countless women are breaking the barriers and stereotype thinking and proving the inspiration. With these words, I'm again welcome. I again welcome you all for this prestigious webinar. Thank you so much, everyone. Over to you, Geeta.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And Gerald, now it's a pleasure to invite Dr. Manju Singh, ma'am, chairperson of the IPJ Women Forum, to enlighten us about significant initiatives, that is today's conference, and endeavors of IPJ Women Forum. Dr. Manju Singh leadership has been instrumental in driving forward the mission of empowering women within the IPGA. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Geeta, for such a modest introduction. Thank you so much. A warm good morning and namaskar to everyone who have joined us virtually to celebrate this International Women's Day. At this juncture, I would like to most humbly welcome the President of IPGA, most respectable Dr. Atul Nasa, sir, and along with him, Madhu Nasa, ma'am, for your gracious presence and always being such a support and motivating person for us. They really represent a great combination as a model couple, representing, the support, compassion for each other, leading to the achievements that they share. So thank you so much for joining. I also extend heartfelt thanks to Professor I.P. Kaur, ma'am, who is herself a great motivation and role model for many women in pharmacy profession, excelling in, academics, research, administration. I'm also thankful to Dr. Tripti Jain as a woman with strong willpower and dedication towards her profession for your time and kind presence. There is an entire team of IPGA Women Forum, Dr. Sri Lakshmi, although everyone has been said thank you. I really extend my heartfelt thanks to these wonderful ladies. Dr. Vanna, Dr. Ramanpreet, Dr. Priya, Dr. Mahalakshmi, Dr. Geeta, Dr. Revati, everyone present on that side for being so energetic and involved in their task. Thank you so much. I'm also thankful to Dr. Jayabalan for being such a support in the technical issues relating to actually organization of such programs. IPGA Women Forum has been constituted to achieve, it has been constituted to activate a movement to inspire, uplift, and boost the women towards the greatness. Although this year's theme is somewhat related to empower her, but at personal level, I feel that the strength and resilience of these incredible individuals is incomparable. We wish to create a space that not only actually recognizes the individual triumphs, but also fuel a collective spirit of empowerment. So with this, I just want to say that women is actually a whole circle. Within her core lies the power to create, nurture, and to transform. So together, more we are going to praise, more we are going to celebrate our life, and more we are going to achieve in our life. So let's all together celebrate the great creation of God, the women, every day. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And now it's my absolute pleasure for today's event, Dr. Madhu Nasa.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
Radiant personality. We are honored to have her here today to share her insights. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So good morning, everybody. I am very happy to see all the young ladies are participating in this event. So first, I want to congratulate IPGA Women Forum for organizing such a big event, and especially Dr. Manju Singh and Dr. Vandana. So I am now retired. I was in teaching profession for 35 years and I was teaching psychology and counseling. So now I am working with an NGO who is working for women empowerment. So I want to say only few things, a few basic things about on this Women's Day. So main thing which I feel is necessary is the financial independence of the woman. Like it is very necessary that they should be financially independent, and for this, like they must be educated and all the things are there. But if they are financially independent, when they get their salary, they get money in their hands, it's a magnificent feeling. So that is the main thing. And then there are so many other things which I want to tell you, like we can do. And we should change, like there should be change on about the mindset of the society. Like society doesn't include only male, but I will say men, women, children, everybody. There are cases still going on, like we all have heard that a Spanish lady is being raped by 6 or 7 persons. So these kind of things I think we should not tolerate at all. अब मैं आपको एक चीज और बताना चाहूंगी कि हम कैसे करें. मैं आई वांट टू मेक स्मॉल एफर्ट्स. लाइक आई एम वर्किंग विद एन एनजीओ, सो दे आर अ ग्रुप ऑफ ladies, 10 ladies, self-help group, and they are earning. They are making pickles, and now because like Holi is coming, so we are planning to make gujiyas. It is a very, very small step they are doing, very small things, and they are earning. They are doing certain things. So this is the thing which I want to do, and I want every moment to do. जैसे कि एक सुकन्या समृद्धि योजना आया है हमारे यहाँ, जो हमारे ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी ने शुरू किया है। तो आप, मैं सिर्फ इतना ही करती हूँ कि आसपास के जितने लोग हैं, जितने हमारे सर्वेंट्स हैं, मेड्स हैं, जितने ड्राइवर्स हैं, जितने भी लोग हैं, आई जनरली आस्क कि आपने अपने बच्चा, अगर आपके घर में 10 साल से छोटी लड़की है, क्या आपने उसके अकाउंट खुलवाए? तो अगर हम छोटे छोटे एफर्ट्स करें और हम इसमें थोड़ा सा पार्टिसिपेट करें, तो मुझे लगता है चीजें बहुत बदलेंगी। जो आज से 50 साल पहले था, जैसे कि अभी बोला आपने कि 49th वुमेन्स डे हम सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं, तो 50 इयर्स एगो वी कैन से कि हमने शुरू किया है। तो जो चीजें तब थी वो अब नहीं है, बहुत बेटर है, बहुत बेटर है। वुमेन आर डूइंग गुड, वेरी वेल इन ऑल द फील्ड्स, बट इसको और बेटर करना है, बहुत ज्यादा करना है। और इसके लिए हमें सबको एज ए सोसाइटी, एज ए कम्युनिटी, वी ऑल हैव टू मेक एफर्ट्स. And I will not say much because I am not much into this. I'm in pharmacy field, but I just generally, like as a teacher, you can talk for a long hours on any topic. But I will say that we should work. We have to work. And there's one more thing I want to say, that मैंने कोई रील देखी थी, तो उसमें वो कहते हैं कि एक इनबिल्ट चीज है जो सब वुमेन में होती है, चाहे वो मिनिस्टर है, चाहे वो सीईओ है, चाहे वो साइंटिस्ट है, चाहे वो एक वर्किंग वुमेन है, चाहे वो मेड है, और चाहे वो हाउसवाइफ है, एंड दैट इज गिल्ट। कि हम कुछ भी करते हैं अपनी फैमिली से हटके, तो वी ऑलवेज फील गिल्टी कि मेरे बच्चों का कुछ ये रह गया, मेरे उसका वो रह गया। You see, men don't feel guilty. We always feel. So this feeling of guilt, this should not be there. And we should not feel guilty. अगर आप 2 घंटे घूम के आते हैं, या आप शॉपिंग करके आते हैं, या आप कुछ करते हैं, तो यही मेरा मोटो है कि हम सब काम करें और अपने फ्रीडम के लिए काम करें, और बहुत ही हम ऊंचा उठे। और दुनिया, बहुत कंट्रीज में घूमी हूँ, मैंने देखा है कि वहाँ बहुत फ्रीडम है, बहुत इक्वलिटी है, लेकिन इंडिया में नहीं है, अभी नहीं है, उतनी नहीं है जितनी होनी चाहिए। तो इसलिए बस मैं सबको मोटिवेट ही करना चाहूंगी, और मैं चाहूंगी कि हम सब अपने गोल की तरफ, अपने लक्ष्य की तरफ बढ़ते रहें, उसको अचीव करना चाहें। और बस मैं एक शेर के साथ खत्म करना चाहूंगी, खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तदबीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे, बता तेरी रजा क्या है। इसका मीनिंग अगर यंग जनरेशन है, शायद उनको ना समझ आए कि आप अपने आप को इतना ऊंचा उठाएं कि इंसान तो क्या, भगवान भी आपसे पूछे भाई तुम क्या चाहते हो, वही तुम्हें मिलेगा, एंड यू विल गेट। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you
बहुत
so
बढ़िया
much,
आपने
ma'am. Such a wonderful talk.
रियली इट वाज वेरी अमेजिंग मैम। आपने सबको इतना अच्छे से मोटिवेट किया, और सब आपकी बात जरूर फॉलो करेंगे। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हमें कभी, अगर हम कहीं काम कर रहे हैं, तो हमें गिल्ट नहीं होगा आपकी बात सुन के।
यस
और मैम हम जरूर आपको डिटेल में सुनना चाहेंगे, मतलब रियली लाइक आप इतना बढ़िया
हाँ।
आपने बोला, मतलब हम डिटेल में से सही में आपको सुनना चाहेंगे, है ना?
आगे कभी।
थैंक यू मैम। हाँ जी, श्योर श्योर। थैंक यू मैम।
थैंक्स।
डॉक्टर गीता, बोलिए।
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed chief guest of today's event, Dr. Atul Nasa ji. Dr. Nasa is IPGA, ex Deputy Drug Controller in New Delhi. With his waiting Dr. Nasa's address. Let us prepare to be inspired by his vision and wisdom, with continue to escape of our profession. So
Hello.
Yes, sir, you may start. There is some connectivity problem with
Yeah, I think she is
Dr.
facing
Geeta.
some connectivity issue. I think we should welcome you, sir, and kindly deliver your expertise in this field, or what you want to say and what you want to convey to us on International Women's Day.
Sure. So good morning, everyone. I'm audible?
Morning, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So at the outset, my heartiest congratulations to IPGA Women Forum, and especially all the female professionals joining this program. Thanks to Dr. Manju Singh Rawat, the president of IPGA Chhattisgarh branch and chairman of IPGA Women Forum Division. I welcome Dr. Mahalakshmi from IPGA South Zone. I also welcome Dr. Vandana. I also welcome Dr. Ramanpreet, Dr. Priya Jain, Dr. Geeta Deswal, and today's speaker, Dr. Indupal Kaur from University Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Chandigarh, Dr. Tripti Jain, who is the Assistant Drug Controller from FDA Chhattisgarh, and all other participants. थोड़ा अपना introduction correct कर दूं. Now I am not working with Drug Control Department. Now I am working as a Vice Chancellor. Recently I got promoted as Vice Chancellor day before yesterday with SGT University Gurgaon.
Many congratulations to you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much. And this was a long 1 year journey when I joined SGT as a Vice Chancellor last year. And day before yesterday, I got an order to be the Vice Chancellor of this university. So my congratulations to all participants on this International Women's Day and also on the auspicious day of Mahashivratri. So this is a special day which is coincided with our Mahashivratri Parv. So congratulations to each and everyone. And the theme of International Women's Day this year, 2024, is Invest in Women and Accelerate the Progress, which is the theme decided by the globally. Invest in Women means you have to invest in the education. And as an academician, you all, faculty members, all professors, all professionals, you have to see that whatever the students are pursuing pharmacy as a career or otherwise, they should be completely educated in all the aspects of pharmacy profession. And at the end of the day, once they are out from your institute, either after completion of their graduation or post-graduation or PharmD program or doctorate program, they should be well placed in the different sphere of pharmaceutical profession, which can be pharmaceutical industry, which can be quality control department, quality assurance department, hospital pharmacy, community pharmacy, clinical pharmacy, regulations, clinical research organizations, academics, or higher studies. So you should be the best teacher and try to see all the students, including female students. I know if you see the total population of our country is having maximum number of women as compared to men. So they should be empowered. They are the future of our country. Apart from that, they should be taken care for their health. Health is wealth. So they should be perfect and they should be taught about all entire healthcare system and lifestyle disease. WHO has given us data which says all young students are suffering from hypertension, diabetes, cancer, and other related issues. So as a woman, as a students, they have to be seen that they should be physically fit in all the aspects and parameters. Then they should be given the education in science, in technology, in engineering and mathematics, that is called STEM. That is important parameter. Apart from that, entrepreneurship. Now, students should be taught about pharmacy. India is the pharmacy of the world. We have got a lot of opportunities. But pharmacy students can start their career by starting their own startup, either in a small way. And we have seen in the pandemic time, most of the people, most of the young students, they came forward for the manufacture of PPE kits, for the manufacture of sanitizers, for the manufacture of all related equipments which are used for the treatment of pandemic. Even during the pandemic, my salute to all the women pharmacists who played very hard to protect our entire country from this COVID-19. And pandemic time was a challengeable time I have seen. So all the women will be working in the different, spheres of pharmaceutical profession. They played a very important role in treating the COVID patients, and they are the, COVID warriors, and I salute all of them. We have seen in India a lot of, our women leading, in different fields. Example is Kalpana Chawla, first woman to go to this space. We have seen the example of Dr. Kiran Majumdar, who is the CEO of Biochem Laboratories. Now you see the background of Dr. Kiran Majumdar. She's doing the excellence in her field. Dr. Swati Piramal is there from Nicholas Piramal. We have got in cricket Miss Mithali Raj. We have got in badminton, that is Saina Nehwal. So all these women are performing excel in their fields. Similarly in the pharmacy profession. So International Women Day is to be celebrated with a simple motto and mission, that all the female students, all the women in our country should be empowered in all the ways, so that their future should be very bright. I will not take much time, and I can simply say you are just listening to my wife. I can tell you 37 years of my journey, from pharma industry, then to the academic, then to the regulations, and back to the academic. It was a tough journey. It was a challengeable journey. But the end of the day, it was a successful journey because of my wife. So my salute to all the women participating in this seminar. And once again, I thank Dr. Manju, and especially thanks to today's speaker, Dr. Indupal Kaur and Dr. Tripti Jain, who have spared their valuable time and sharing their ideas on this International Women Day to all the participating delegates. And my best wishes to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words and inspiring us all. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Ramanpreet Walia to introduce our next speaker of the day, Dr. Indupal Kaur ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Thank you, Dr. Geeta, for transferring the charge to me. So with the beginning of words, there is no limit to what we as women can accomplish. With the famous quote of Michelle Obama, I, Ramanpreet Walia, North Zone Coordinator of IPGA Women Forum, along with my co-chairperson for this session, Dr. Priya Jain, warmly welcome one and all delegates participating in this one-day virtual national conference entitled Empower Her, Motivation for Inclusion to Accelerate Progress, to celebrate International Women's Day. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our IPGA Women Forum Chairperson, Dr. Manju Singh, along with the co-chairperson, Dr. Vanna Garg, and Dr. Sri Lakshmi, Secretary, IPGA Women Forum. Last but not least, my deepest gratitude goes to the organizing secretary of this event, our Haryana State Coordinator, Dr. Geeta Deswal, for all the planning to making this event a grand success. We are blessed to have you, Dr. Atul Nasa sir, and his better half, Dr. Madhu Nasa, for always inspiring. And what a motivational words she has spoken, that we shouldn't be guilt-free, even if we are working sometimes, but we know we have to prioritize things, but should not feel the guilt. I'm grateful to be a woman who perform multitasking to manage things, but it is be it a personal front or a career front. So all the lovely women present here, believe in your strength and be self-motivated to accelerate progress. I assure nobody will stop you. So with these remarks, I honorably welcome our invited speaker of the first technical session, Dr. Indupal Kaur, Professor UIPS, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Ma'am, I'm feeling so blessed and nostalgic that being your student at Punjab University got this golden opportunity to introduce you, ma'am. So briefly about Indupal ma'am Kaur. Ma'am, although the profile is too big to be read, but I'll try to be a little brief. So she is working as a professor of pharmaceutics at UIPS, Chandigarh, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Apart from that, she holds various other positions. She's a professor, DP IIT IPR since July 2023. She's an independent director, Nectar Life Sciences Limited. She is chairperson UIPS. She's a director, Sophisticated Analytical Instrumentation Facility. She is Dean, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences. She was working as a dean also. She was working as a secretary, Indian Pharmaceutical Association, Punjab branch. She's a project coordinator, UGC NRC program, and a president for Punjab University Pharmaceutical Society Association till 2023. She has worked in major contribution in the fields of IPR. Professor Kaur was recently invited as a special guest to the Government of India to witness the historic occasion of commemoration of 75th Republic Day on 26 January 2024. Invitation was directly extended from the Office of Controller General of Patents, Design and Trademark, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. She's among top 2% most cited scientists across the globe for her Stanford, as per Stanford University, USA, in 2019-20 and 2022-23. Her research forte is enhancing bioperformance of drugs, plant extracts, and biomolecules, such as siRNA, small interfering RNA, proteins, peptides, and probiotics. She has produced 24 PhDs, and many are currently also, she is also guiding many PhD students and 66 postgraduate students, and has received funding of around 100 million INR from government and industry. She is a US Fulbright Fellow 2017-18 and received a National Intellectual Property Award 2021 and 2022, and top Indian individual for patent filing, grant and commercialization. And she also bagged medal for inventors in 2023. So many accolades, ma'am. It is very difficult to read your profile in a brisk information.
That will require one session.
Yes,
No?
actually, it will be requiring one session. So many, feathers in your cap. So she has also received
I
funding
think
for project and beam time application at ISIS facility, Rutherford. And she is having a licensing of 4 of her technologies to pharmaceutical biotechnology and dermaceutical industries, and 18 granted patents, including 1 US and 32 filed applications. With this, I warmly welcome Dr. Indu Kaur ma'am for the session.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ramanpreet, for such a kind introduction. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Very
Okay.
well.
Okay. And at the outset, I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Vandana Garg for having contacted me and inviting me to this forum. Respected Dr. Atul Nasa ji, Madam Madhu Nasa, dear Dr. Manju, and I feel all of them. I know Geeta is here, and Raman I already mentioned, and then we have Dr. Sri Lakshmi and Dr. Priya Jain. So I am grateful to be here, and at the same time honored, and it is a privilege to present my views on this Women's Day on the IPGA Women Forum, and it is a great initiative from IPGA as well. So at the outset, I have a disclaimer कि Women's Day हम मना रहे हैं, inclusion हम चाहते हैं, but at no way do we want to offend our men colleagues, our boy students, and at the same time our own sons and husbands. So केवल इतना ही कहना है कि हम सब इकट्ठे हैं, and there is an equal partnership between the men and the women. And without that partnership, there is going to be an imbalance, and that is what needs to be corrected at all stages. So, इतनी सारी women को देख के, इतनी सारी powerful women को देख के कई बार लगता है कि शायद हम गलत कह रहे हैं. Many people out there would feel कि सब कुछ तो है, empowered भी हैं, फिर भी बोल रही हैं नहीं, powerful नहीं है. लेकिन I think each one of us has our own story. Each one of us has had our own journey, has faced her own challenges in life. जैसे मैम ने बोला कभी गिल्टी हो जाते हैं, कभी झुक जाते हैं, कभी लो प्रोफाइल कर लेते हैं, और कभी अपने आप को अंडर एस्टिमेट करते हैं. So all those things have always been there with all of us in our journeys, I'm sure, and with that everybody would identify. And from this I would just take you across. I'll just share my screen. And so can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am, it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
visible.
All right, and
Yes,
it is
ma'am.
moving also.
Yes, it is.
All right, okay. So the theme for today's Women Day is Inspire Inclusion. और यहीं पे अगेन मैं कहना चाहूंगी कि चेंज भी हमारे खुद के हाथ में है कहीं ना कहीं. एट टाइम्स we accept ourselves to be weak, we accept to take a second place, we accept to prioritize differently, but then that is my decision. I have to appreciate that, and I have to be happy with that. If I decide, okay, no, I don't want to pursue my profession, I have to look after my family, then also it is my decision. I have to own it and still be happy in that situation. That is another aspect of being a woman, which we have to accept, that there would be phases, stages in life when other things may take, I would not say may take a priority. Other things become important for us than just pursuing our career. So financial independence, ma'am said, of course, it is very important. Education is another aspect which is important. And that's why I think we are here together. Most of us are teachers here. And I think the responsibility somewhere lies between us to motivate our girl students, to accept our women colleagues, and move together. That should be the agenda of every women professional. We have to take our women colleagues with us and also empower our younger generation of women along with men. As I say again, we do not have anything against our men folk, and we are together into this. And कहीं ना कहीं हम सब फील करते हैं कि हाँ, हमारे पार्टनर्स ने हेल्प किया, लेकिन वो भी मुझे लगता है क्या हेल्प किया, नहीं ऐसा सोचना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये मेरा राइट था. एक हम लोग इकट्ठे थे और हम लोगों ने इकट्ठे मूव किया. सो वो भी कहीं ना कहीं हमारा गिल्ट होता है कि हमें लगता है उसने हमें मौका दिया कि हम कर सकें, चाहे वो पिता हो, चाहे वो भाई हो, और चाहे वो हस्बैंड हो. तो ऐसा नहीं है, मैं केपेबल थी इसलिए मैंने किया. जो भी अचीव किया वो मेरी कैपेबिलिटी थी, और उसको मुझे ये स्पेस देना ही था, वो मेरा राइट था. उसने कुछ मेरे पे एहसान नहीं किया. ये भी फीलिंग हमें अपने साथ ये लेके ही चलनी है. सो इट इज बोथ वेज, लाइक वी आर हियर एज इंडिविजुअल्स. और एक और मुझे कहना है कि मेरे से कई बार बहुत लोगों ने पूछा, लाइक हैव यू एवर फेस्ड एनी प्रॉब्लम्स बिकॉज यू आर अ वुमेन, एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. एंड शुरू शुरू में या बीच में भी मुझे कई बार हैरानी होती है कि मैंने तो कभी ऐसा नहीं फील किया. तो जब मैंने इंट्रोस्पेक्ट किया, देखा, तो आई रियलाइज्ड कि मैंने कभी अपनी तरफ से ये कंपेंसेशन भी नहीं मांगा कि मैं लड़की हूं, मैं वुमेन हूं, मैं ये नहीं कर सकती. कोई मेरे को जो भी ड्यूटी मेरे प्रोफेशन में मेरे सीनियर्स ने दी, या जो भी मेरे से एक्सपेक्टेड था एज अ प्रोफेशनल, वो मैंने परिपूर्ण किया. So since I was performing as an individual professional, so I never expected any discrimination, and I never looked at it as a discrimination. So once we accept ourselves as individuals, as individual pharmacist or professional, without involving gender into it, men or women, तो हम आई थिंक अपना प्लेस अचीव कर ही पाएंगी. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि we should never ask, we should not ask for any compensations. जब नौकरी करने निकले हैं, जब प्रोफेशन में निकले हैं, तो एक प्रोफेशनल हैं. फिर उस वक्त आई कांट विश टू अचीव सिंपथी. मेरे तो बच्चे छोटे हैं, मैं कैसे 8 बजे पहुंचूं. दैट इज नॉट, सी मैं मतलब अगर मेरा जो भी प्रोफेशन है या मेरा जो भी प्रोफाइल है वो डिमांड करता है कि मुझे 8 बजे वहां होना है, तो होना है. then I have to make my own arrangements for my kids, my family, जो भी उसके लिए alternative करना है वो मुझे करना चाहिए, rather than seeking help or sympathy or compensation because I am a woman. So with these words, I start the today's presentation, which is more to do with women in science and the journey women have undertaken to be here today. So as the today's theme was inclusivity in science, I just thought we will share some numbers. So अगर हम किसी researcher science में को define करें, then it is a professional who is trying to generate new knowledge, new concepts, and new ideas. And in terms में, when the numbers are calculated, though when we talk of the human resource, it is almost 50-50. Across the globe, there are almost 50% women and 50% men. But the contribution in the field is 30% in 2017, which just increased by 1.7% to 31.7% in 2021. This is the global figure. And in India, the figure is much lesser. It is just 18.6%. So there is a lot to be done before we reach that 50%. Science has always been a men-dominated field, and as I said, this is a United Nations data where they say that it is only less than 30% of women who are involved in research. So there have been studies, there has been data where either the women were discouraged or they were less interested for entering the field of STEM. Again, I think somewhere it has been ingrained in our minds, or we have accepted the idea that I am not capable of doing, as women, we are less scientific, less mathematical, less, capable in these areas. And even though the numbers are improving, still the number of women at a senior level are limited. And that number also needs to be improved. Starting from Nobel Prize, which is the biggest prize in science, in anything, science, literature, or anything. So starting from the first woman who won the Nobel Prize, we all know about Madame Marie Curie, and we are all impressed by her profile. And it took another 60 years before another woman, she got a Nobel Prize in physics. That was Dr. Maria Goeppert-Mayer. And then 55 years when Donna Strickland got the award in 2018. And then there have been, more closer years, 2020 and then 2023. Till now, only 26 women have received a Nobel Prize. So the numbers are still much less. And before Dr. Hulier, who received her award in 2023, most of these awards have been shared by the women who received the awards were shared with their men colleagues, and only a quarter of the prize was received by this woman, except, of course, Madame Marie Curie, who received this award in 1903 with her husband. And there are so many stories about that as well, because it was her husband who was offered the prize, and then he said, no, she deserves the prize more than me, and she has contributed to it more than me. And then the Nobel Prize Committee included her name. We all know about Marie Curie. We've all learned about her. She is like a role model. She was so passionate about her work. And that's what, again, I want to say here, where I was trying to read about her, and I read that she had to face several social challenges. The society, the scientific society, were, the men at that time felt threatened by her presence in the field, especially of physics, which is considered to be, again, the most male-dominated field, along with mathematics. And there were so many, she was morally, and her character was at times assassinated, but probably her passion for science was so great that she did not let these challenges pull her down, and she kept performing. And till date, She is the only woman to have received the Nobel Prize twice and an only individual to have received the Nobel Prize in two different subjects, first in physics and then in chemistry. So the physics Nobel Prize was shared by her with her husband Pierre Curie, and then again the richness of her scientific integrity and the scientific temper is also shown, that her daughter also then moved on to receive the Nobel Prize in 1935 because of our activity on artificial radioactivity. Then there are also some unsung heroes and some other women who have been receiving or recognized for their activities. So the lady Wu, who is mentioned as the Chinese Madame Curie, she and her colleagues, they worked on several experiments in nuclear physics, and she separated the two isotopes of uranium. But it was only her colleagues who received the Nobel Prize for this work in 1957, though she was bestowed with other prizes. Similarly, Dr. Barbara McClintock, and she worked in genetics, and she received the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1983. Lisa Mittner, she was a woman physicist in Germany, and she worked on nuclear fission, and her work was recognized when, again, only her collaborator was given the Nobel Prize in 1944. Tu Youyou, we all remember because she received the 2015 Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine, and she was a pharmaceutical chemist. Okay, now, so while I was visiting US on my Fulbright fellowship in 2017, so my host there at the Rutgers University, the Ivy League Princeton University was very close by, and one day I asked her, that Professor Mishniak, I wanted to visit the Princeton University, it's an Ivy League. She said, okay, sure, I'll take you there. And while we were going, she told me that, do you know, Indu, like for people of our generation, when we were graduating, even till that time, Princeton was not open to admit women in the area of science. And I was, amazed, and I was disturbed by that information. Though Dr. Madhu Nasa recently mentioned that the things are much better in the countries outside India. But I just want to tell you that there also the women had to move together, had to organize and run movements to gain that, right. So most of the Ivy League universities, they were not open to women. They were the highest education centers, and still they were prejudiced. They had a bias against women. So it was for the first time the Cornell University, where Ezra Cornell, he and his colleague Andrew Dixon White, they favored co-education, and they decided they want to open it up for women. And in 1870, the first women student, Jenny Spencer, was admitted. However, I don't know how many of you know, Cornell University is situated in Ithaca, and that's upstate New York, and it is very cold, and it is a hilly region. And unfortunately, at that time, they did not have any housing for women students at the campus, and she lived downtown, and she had to walk every day to the campus, and that was too much for her, and as a result she left in between. But before she left, one of the professor, Goldwin Smith, who was a very illustrious professor of Cornell, resigned. He said women should not be admitted at Cornell. So, and it is almost 150 years ago, only in 1870 this happened. At the same time, there was a businessman with the name of Henry W. Sage, who said he would contribute $250,000 to Cornell for allowing, for admitting women. Then in later, since 1870, this girl Spencer had to leave. So in 1873, the Cornell University set up the first hostel, Sage College for Women, for women, and then the women students were admitted to Cornell, and then subsequently other women were allowed in other universities. Talking of the academies run in India, we have the National Science Academy, Indian National Science Academy, the Indian Academy of Sciences, and National Academy of Sciences India. They are most highest and prestigious academies in India, and the women percentage in these academies is less than 10%. Although now efforts are being made to increase the women membership, but we are a long way to go. The government of India has recently, over the past 10 years, actually started special programs and research fundings for women in science, including the first to start was the DST WAS fellowship, where the women who had a break in their career were promoted to rejoin into the area of research, and they were given a special fellowships. And now more recently, we have this BioCare program by DPT and the Wise Kiran program, which has come up, and the Punjab government started a SHE program, and so many other programs have started. So things are improving, and we need to educate our girl students, and also at probably the grassroots level, as ma'am said, our maids, are the people who are less informed that there are so many facilities which are being generated and they can be utilized by women. So this is a quote I got from the net, and here Angela Davis, she says, "I'm no longer accepting the things I cannot change." And she wants to change the things she cannot accept. So I think that's where we all stand, that we do not have to accept any discrimination at any level, though we are not asking for any extra compensations as well. So when we talk of the rights, we must know of our duties as well. Okay. Dr. Nasa already mentioned about Dr. Kiran Majumdar-Shaw, and she has had a beautiful journey, and we are again also proud of her. At a young age of 25, she ventured into starting her own company. And again, it is quoted by so many that her father and then eventually her husband, they supported her a lot. Yes, they supported her, but again, it was as well her right to achieve that because she had it in her. She did it because she was capable, because she had the capacity to do it. So we all know she started Biocon with a small seed money and I think in a garage, and now she is amongst the top 50 women in Financial Times and the 65th most powerful woman as indicated by Forbes magazine. Some women from the Indian history. The first is Anandibai Gopal Rao Joshi. She was the first Indian women physician, and in fact, she was married young, and she gave birth to a dead child, and that is what motivated her to be a physician. And then Kamla Sohini, she was the first Indian woman to have bagged a PhD degree in science, and then she applied to IISc for a research fellowship, and she was rejected because she was a woman. And later on, she was taken up by Professor C.V. Raman as the first women student, and he was the IISc director. Kalpana Chawla, again, all of us know, Dr. Nasa also talked about her. So sky is the limit. If you want to perform women, there you go. Dr. Indira Hinduja, so many couples, Indian couples have been, they could have children because ma'am, she worked on the gamete intrafallopian transfer and brought this to India. This lady Elizabeth Cady Stanton, she was an American suffragist and an activist, and she actually did a lot for women's right in the American and the European culture. And till 1840s or so, women did not have any right to vote in these countries. And she fought for it, and eventually women got their rights. We have had saints in our history who have tried to eradicate the social evil of discrimination amongst women. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is often referred. So kyo manda akhiye jit chamme rajan. So we've all been talking about this verse, and they tried to create an equal right, and that we need to respect women because men are brought into the world by women. And the Sikh culture is very close to the Sufism, which Guru Nanak and the subsequent gurus brought, where the soul, the human being, the human soul is referred to as a woman, and as a devotee, as a lover of God, and the God is referred to as Kant, the husband. So all in this concept, all human beings are women. So there is nothing wrong in being a woman, and there is nothing demeaning in being a woman. So this is what I was trying to tell you, that most of the boys, they take up mathematics, not because they think or they know that they are better. It is just that they are made to think that they are better. And women or girls are made to think they cannot do mathematical problems. They do not have that intellect. So that is what I want to sensitize each one of us, is that many a times hum kuch baatein we just take it in our stride कि ये मुझसे नहीं होगा, ये मैं नहीं कर सकती. I recently went through a WhatsApp post where somebody had posted how many of us file our own income tax returns, how many of us know कि हमारा financial status क्या है, हमें savings कहाँ करनी है, how many of us are the deciding factor in this. We do not decide it because we think हमें नहीं पता, लेकिन हमने कभी अपने आप को इक्विप भी करने की कोशिश नहीं करी. But there could be many women out there amongst us even today who file the ITR returns for their husbands as well. So I think it is somewhere in the mind where we are made to think, and these are all cognitive skills. They are found in the spatial skill set, and let me tell you, these are skills which can be acquired. अगर नहीं भी हैं मेरे में तो मैं acquire कर सकती हूँ उनको. I don't have to say that I can't do it. So and there is again has always been a challenge to work in the non-traditional areas, either because हमारे men colleagues, they viewed us as less competent because we are women, maybe because we were attending to our families, because we were attending to our kids, or because we thought we can't move out, we can't do the field jobs, or if we were competent, then we were considered not likable. So we are competent and we can still be liked. We can still be good mothers, good homemakers, good wives, good sisters, everything. And along with that, we can be good professionals as well. लेकिन उसका मतलब ये भी नहीं है कि इतना सारा भार अपने कंधे पे ले लेना है that you want to outperform yourselves at all times to be a perfect mother, woman, professional, everything. So कभी कभी मुझे भी let go करना है, मुझे भी एक्सेप्ट करना है कि मैं एक ह्यूमन बीइंग हूँ. सो मुझे किसी को प्रूव नहीं करना कि मैं बहुत केपेबल हूँ, क्योंकि मैं केपेबल हूँ. प्रूव करने की तो मुझे तब जरूरत है जब मैं नहीं हूँ, लेकिन मैं केपेबल हूँ. सो आई डोंट नीड टू प्रूव इट टू एनीवन. इफ आई एम नॉट एबल टू गिव sufficient time to my kid, I must appreciate that I am giving a quality time to my kid. I being a professional, am more capable of teaching my kid in smaller time, attending to his requirements, and I have to मेक माई चिल्ड्रन अंडरस्टैंड कि मैं भी नौकरी करती हूँ, तभी इस घर में वो चीजें आ पाती हैं जिनके साथ जो हमारे लिए जरूरी हैं, उसको चाहे लग्जरी आइटम्स मान लें, चाहे नेसेसिटी आइटम्स मान लें. सो द मदर इज ऑल्सो रिक्वायर्ड टू गो आउट, एंड हर प्रोफेशन एंड हर वर्क इज इक्वली इम्पॉर्टेंट बिकॉज शी इज ऑल्सो कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटिंग इक्वली इन द फैमिली. सो कहीं ना कहीं हमें सबसे पहले अपने आप को समझाना है, और फिर समझाने के बाद वी डोंट नीड टू फाइट फॉर इट, वी जस्ट हैव टू अगर हम जान लेंगे तो मुझे लगता है सब जान लेंगे. सो एंड उस केस में बहुत बारी ये भी सुनने में आता है दैट women आर देयर ओन enemies, like we don't accept our women colleagues, our daughters-in-law, or our mothers-in-law in the family. So that is also somewhere there, I think, because हम में ये ingrain कर दिया गया कि नहीं, सबसे पहले तुम्हें ये देखना है. So it is not like that. जो भी मैं कर रही हूँ वही मैं capable हूँ करने की, और वही मेरा expertise है शायद. So I believe in science, so I thought I would quickly take you through my learnings in life or my experiences just briefly, and then we can close. So when I started the pharmacy profession, and I'm sure several of us started like this, that we wanted to be in medicine and we appeared for the exams, and if we could not, be successful there, we moved on to pharmacy, which was the second best option at that time for us. Although now I see the younger generation, they are more clear in what they want to do, and several of the students who come into the B Farm classes, when we ask them, they come there with the first choice as well. And I really look forward to those days when all of the students, they come to pharmacy as a first choice, because I feel that was the best thing to happen to me, that I did not go into medicine, and I feel I contributed much more. I am a much better professional than my counterparts who went into medicine at that time. So after doing my B Pharmacy and Masters, I was looking for an opportunity to do my PhD. And again, I did my Masters in 1987, way back in 1987. Though I feel I was brought up very progressively, my parents never, distinguished between me as a girl and with my brother. But at the same time, my father was more comfortable with me staying in Chandigarh and being in university, which is a very safe environment, rather than I did want to go into the industry at that time. Now I think, but when I introspect, I feel I did not have the courage, and it was not very common at that time for women to enter into the industry. And when he said, I would say कि पापा ने नहीं जाने दिया, लेकिन मैं कई बार सोचती हूँ कि शायद मुझ में भी उतनी वो नहीं थी उस वक्त दृढ़ता कि मैं जा पाती. So the next thing was maybe do some PhD program, and I got an opportunity in an immunology lab at Institute of Microbial Technology, and my mentor had recently returned from USA, and immunology was a very versatile area at that time, and so many things were happening, and I entered there. But while I was working there for 5 to 6 months, I realized that no, this if I enter into immunology, I lose out on what I learned for 5 years in pharmacy as a professional. And that was the time कि I realized कि नहीं, मुझे pharmacy अच्छी लगती है और मुझे pharmacy में ही आगे जाना है. Then I went on to do some teaching at a diploma college in Punjab. And at that time, I realized, no, if I have to go into teaching, I want to do research first and then go into a better institute. And then I decided to do my PhD, and I came back to my alma mater, UIPS, and joined as a PhD scholar. और आई एम श्योर जो भी स्टूडेंट्स इस वक्त मुझे सुन रहे हैं वो भी यही फील करते हैं. मैं भी इसी तरह से फील करती थी व्हेन आई डिड माय मास्टर्स की कुछ भी करेंगे, पीएचडी तो नहीं करनी है बिल्कुल भी. So, but in spite of that, I ended up doing my PhD, which was a labor-intensive project. Mutagenicity testing में मैंने अपना PhD करा. And I had to wash every third day. I would put up a test which would involve 30 to 40 Petri plates and a double number of tubes which needed washing, cleaning, sterilization, preparation of media, and then performance of the test. And then the microbiology based experiments were so unpredictable that suddenly the next day when you open your incubator, all the plates were contaminated and you had to do everything again. So, and I don't know how many of us feel like that, but I personally feel that I was trained more like a technician than a scientist. I was trained to perform the experiments, to create the data, but I was never trained to hypothesize or to design my experiments and to analyze my data. I think that is one big gap which, as mentors today, we need to fill. We need to train scientists. And this concept I realized when I worked at the IMTech, and my boss there, he later on became the NII director, Dr. Mishra. And he would say that when I was in US, so whenever, since so much was happening, so whenever we had a strange experiment or strange results, he had a lady boss, and he said she would put us in a room, in a committee room, and lock the room from outside. And she said, by evening, I want the answer to this question. And we would debate, we would discuss, we would aggressively discuss, and then think of the various options. So that is what science should be all about. It should be about proposing a hypothesis, about identifying a gap, proposing a hypothesis, and then trying to address that by designing your experiments, looking at the results, analyzing the data, and if the data matches with the hypothesis, it is fine. If it is not, confirming the reproducibility of my results, checking out if my methodology was correct or not, redesigning my experiments, and then reperforming or trying to explain the results which are not as I had expected them to be. And here I just want to say that at like not getting the results I expected should not be taken as that I need to hide those results. So I just need to confirm that they are correct. I just need to confirm that they are reproducible. And then I need to either try and find the answers to it, or try or report them as such. We all know now that there are so many journals which also, report the negative results, and even publishing houses like Elsewhere, they started such journals 10 years ago or so. So integrity in science should be a must. That should be the most important thing for all of us. Rather than trying to hide or forge our results, we should proudly, we should be confident that this is what I have performed. And I'm sure that I performed correctly, and these are the results I'm getting. And I think in one of my subsequent slides, there is this, that all the research is research. So the answers probably already exist, because the nature, the God is very, very systematic. All things are organized. The answers are out there. It is just that we as humankind are trying to find their answers somewhere. So the answers are there. We just need to search for them. I had the honor of several good teachers in my career, and that led me to believe that we need to be good teachers. And then I started my own career. And as I had worked in mutagenicity testing, which was part of the pharmaceutical microbiology and genotoxicity, when I was interviewed for my teaching profession in the area of pharmaceutics, the selection committee had a reservation that I have been trained differently. How do you justify to be appointed in the area of pharmaceutics? I did try to convince them, and then I promised them that, okay, I will venture into the core pharmaceutics area. And that is when, without a mentor, without a previous training, from being the working in the area of genotoxicity in 1995, I worked on into the area of drug delivery systems, and the later on into nano carriers, including the lipidic nanoparticles. So again, another thing which I learned was that whenever you want to do something new, you want to start a new area, it is important that you read the literature. And reading the literature would help you, could help you design the rationale, the identify the research gaps. And the best way to do that is write a review on that topic that helps you look through, sieve through the entire literature, and it also gives you a clarity. And that is from where I started. My husband was an ophthalmologist, so he said, okay, there are certain problems in certain ocular drugs which are to be delivered, and that's how I ventured into the area of ocular drug delivery. And when I started working in this area, I think there was no pharmacy professional who was working in it. There was one ocular pharmacologist in AIMS who was working in the area, and most of them were just ophthalmologists who did not understand the nuances of the physicochemical properties of the drugs, the ocular barriers in delivery. And I think I contributed there, and I wrote 2 reviews, which now when I look back at them, I feel I did a great job, and they actually helped me also. And I got significant citations on those reviews, and I very proudly state that one of them is cited in Goodman-Gilman, and all of us know what Goodman-Gilman is to us. And the ocular pharmacology chapter has one of my citations there. So my message to the younger generation is read, 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 and read. And there is no alternative to it. The more you read, the more ideas you would get, the more clarity in the research gaps. You can actually propose better research problems if you read. So what I say here is that you need to recognize the discrimination, overcome it, become better and stronger, rather than accepting the discrimination which is existing. So here again, I want to tell you that I started my career as a mentor, and the first 2 students I got were women. Both of them were married. One of them also had a baby while she was working with me. So that is another responsibility as a woman mentor. We need to understand, we need to accept that if we have a woman student, she has other things in life, and it is actually a I would say an honor nature has bestowed on us women to be mothers. So I don't think anyone should feel insecure, and most of us, we as women, feel insecure if we have women students who get married and who start their families. It is only that me as a woman or my student as a woman has to be a professional, and she should have a passion to do science. And there is no maybe if she would have finished it in 3 years, now she would finish her work in 1 year. For this again has to be accepted both by the student and the mentor, कि स्टूडेंट को ये पता होना चाहिए कि मेरा लाइफ में कुछ और भी हो रहा था, इसलिए आई कुड नॉट फिनिश इट इन 3 years, बट I want to finish it, and my mentor would help me to finish it. So that should be the way the things are. And I have now several women girls. So it keeps on changing. But at this moment, I have a lot of girl students in my group. As you can see, several of them are girls, the master's students as well as the PhD students. And my lessons, sky is the limit. Nothing can limit you, be a girl or a boy. This is immaterial, but sky is the limit. And there is no alternative to reading, so you have to do your homework. There is no such thing as good luck in science and research. All of the good luck comes with hard work. You have to work sincerely. And if you do not succeed, whether it is performing an experiment, whether it is writing a grant, whether it is getting published, so you have to keep trying, keep improving. And at this juncture, I always tell the story of King Robert Bruce, who was a king of Scotland, and he was pushed out of his kingdom by the enemy. And he was one day sitting in a cave, and he came across a spider who was trying to climb up the web and would fall back again and then would climb up again repeatedly. And eventually the spider succeeded. And from there, King Robert Bruce realized that I also have to keep trying to get my kingdom back. So he reconsolidated his army, and he collected a few warriors, and then they went back to fight their enemy, and he could revoke his kingdom. So try again till you are successful. And that trying could be 1 time, 2 times, 10 times, 100 times, or 1,000 times. And there is this newer concept of a tipping point. I don't know how many of you have read that book, Tipping Point. So it says that we all know that the takdi or the tula. So the last grain you put in would suddenly make the one side of the this tula bend down, and that last grain is important to achieve the success. So you might be very close to the peak of the normal curve before you move into the success area, and you might get disgruntled just at that step. So that last point, that last grain has to go into it. So you have to keep trying till you reach your tipping point, and that would be different from someone else's. That is what I mean to say, that you have to strike your own piece, which is, again, there could be colleagues in your profession, there could be people in your family where you would think that she or he is working much less, she is being paid similarly as me, or he is being paid similarly, but I'm working much more. So each one of us have our own fights, have our own competencies. तो हमें किसी के साथ कंपेयर नहीं करना. Whatever I'm doing for my own gratification, and my gratification could be different from someone else's gratification. That we have to know. So why I'm mentioning this is that at times, in my profession, I would feel कि बाकी लोग तो 9 बजे जब मैं आती हूँ डिपार्टमेंट, तो अदर डिपार्टमेंट्स, especially the social sciences and other, even in my own department, maybe they are just walking their dogs, and when I go back in the evening, late in the evening, again people are walking, and I am just going back home at that time. But then I am doing it for my gratification. It is what gives me pleasure. It is my passion that I want to work in the area of science. I want to do research. So each one of us has our own calling. So it can be different for different people. So if I am doing something, I'm doing it for myself. I'm not being forced to do it. It is my choice. So once you strike that balance, that it is my choice that I'm doing this, then I think things fall into place. And passion has to be there. Either love your work or do the work you love. So many times we may not find the work we love, then start loving what you are doing, because that is what is feeding your family, that is what is giving you financial independence, that is what is helping you meet your day-to-day requirements. Sincerity and integrity in science I've already discussed. And when you do your homework, when you read, when you are sincere, you by default get a clarity of thought and speech. Then I am a great believer. As I said, research is researching. And as I said, nature is very, very, systematic and organized. तो सब कुछ already exist करता है, एक बात. And another thing is, when you desire something and you just need to throw it into the ether, you just need to believe in the providence or something, and the opportunities by themselves would arise. That's what I feel. The desire has to be there, the sincerity has to be there, and the things would fall into place. Have that faith. And I have a strong testimony to this, that at several times in my life, I have seen things happening, and at times later on, I realized, okay, ये सब इतनी देर पहले से शुरू हो गया था because ये होना था. So every answer, as I say, exists in the nature. We just have to look at the right place for the right answer. So thank you. And the greatest lesson for the women to learn is that she already has everything. I am okay. I am perfect the way I am. And nobody else needs to be convinced for that. I should know in my mind that I am the best and I am doing my best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Indupal Kaur ma'am. It was so inspiring listening each and every word. And we actually remember all our Punjab University days, the same you were at that time and same motivation we are getting. And I
Thank
still
you.
remember that your students who were married and they were under your supervision. One of our was my classmate as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I would call Dr. Priya Jain, Central Zone Coordinator and my co-chairperson along with me for the session to summarize up this session. And I think this is a certificate which is being
Thank
shared
you. Thank
to.
I don't know, did I take longer time than I was assigned? I
No,
think.
no, but we were deep inside the ocean when you were sharing the ocean of your knowledge.
Thank you.
We
Thank
were
you.
actually diving there, but that was
Thank
too
you.
good.
Thank you.
Dr. Priya Jain, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you so much, Valia ma'am. Good afternoon, all the dignitaries and the guests and all the participants. I'm grateful to conclude the session of Professor Indu Kaur ma'am. And firstly, I'm thankful, ma'am, for enlightening us and sharing her insights. Ma'am has beautifully explained the various things about the partnership, inclusion, and at the same time, ma'am has focused on the change. And the first slide, the ma'am has started with the animation that is very attractive. And for females, ma'am has told that we must accept our capabilities and we have to come out from the feeling of the guilt. And ma'am also asked her to don't ask for the compensations. Uh, we have seen many of the males have the thought that women will always ask for the compensation, but we always work for our profile. And I want to explain that we have to work as per our profile and what is the need of our profile. And every female is working hard and for her profile. It is really shocking to when ma'am has explained the gender gap between the research. In the research, there's a huge gender gap in the field of STEM, and also when ma'am has shared her journey out of the India, there was also discrimination among the males and females. So it's really shocking, and I think in India it is less. That discrimination is very less nowadays because of the some fellowship like Kiran, WS, etc. The women's are also promoting in the participation of in the research. And ma'am also mentioned many women achievers and the struggles that will surely inspire us that nothing is impossible for a woman and we can achieve each and everything. And ma'am also told that we have to let go and we don't feel the guilt. At the end, when ma'am has motivating for all the female participants and all young minds, thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your journey. That is very motivating, and we will from your life lessons. We are learning so much from your life lessons. Thank you so much, ma'am. Over to you, Geeta ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramanpreet Walia ma'am and Dr. Priya Jain ma'am. एंड बिग थैंक्स टू डॉक्टर इंदुपाल कौर मैम. आई थिंक जितनी बार हम मैम को सुनते हैं उतनी बार इंस्पायर होते हैं और हर बार कुछ ना कुछ नया सीखने के लिए मिलता है.
And
So
I,
now,
I just also want to thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. और मैम ने हमें इतना अच्छा मोटिवेट किया. मुझे लगता है ये जो मैम ने हमें अपने रिसर्च जर्नी के बारे में बताया, तो कहीं ना कहीं मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि उसका 1.1% शायद हमने भी उसको फेस किया है. और डेफिनेटली वी विल लर्न द मोर थिंग्स इन फ्यूचर फ्रॉम मैम. थैंक यू सो मच, मैम.
thank you ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It is always wonderful listening to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now it's time for second technical session. And for second technical session, I would like to invite Dr. D. Shri Lakshmi ma'am and Dr. Mahalakshmi R ma'am to chairperson and as a co-chairperson for the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, one and all. International Women's Day, celebrated annually on March 8, is a global day acknowledging the social, economic, cultural, and political achievement of women. As a part of International Women's Day 2024, Indian Pharmacy Graduate Association Women Forum is organizing this virtual webinar on the theme of this year, that is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, including the campaigning name that is Inspire Inclusion. As we all know, today, on this day of Mahashivaratri, we are conducting this Women's Day program that is an act one, according to us. And before going to the introduction, we'll have a brief look on the importance of International Women's Day. The significance of International Women's Day lies in its ability to bring attention to issues such as gender equality, reproductive rights, and violence and abuse against women. It is not just a day to celebrate the achievement of women. It is a call to action for gender equality, hereby encouraging reflection, advocacy, and action to continue break down barriers for women and girls around the globe. I would like to thank the IPGA Women Forum team for giving me an opportunity to chair this session, and I am very much honored to introduce our renowned speaker of the session, Dr. Triti Jain ma'am, Assistant Drugs Controller, FDA Chhattisgarh. Ma'am is having an excellent academic profile. She did her PhD from Institute of Pharmacy, Vikram University, Ujjain in June 2013. She is an M.Pharm gold medalist in pharmacognosy from Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, H.S. Gaur University, Sagar, MP. She graduated B.Pharm from B.R. Nahata College of Pharmacy, Mandsaur. And she is having 22 years of experience in pharma field, and presently she is working as Assistant Drugs Controller at Food and Drug Administration, Chhattisgarh. She worked as Drugs Inspector, Food and Drug Administration, Chhattisgarh, Raipur from 2010, June 24 to December 2015. And she worked as a reader for 10 years in various institutions in Chhattisgarh and MP. Regarding her publication, she published 2 books and more than 30 research and review papers. And she got M.L. Khorana Best Paper Award in 2006. I welcome you, ma'am, on behalf of IPGA Women Forum, along with my co-chair, Dr. Sri Lakshmi, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Mahalakshmi, madam. And first of all, I wish all the gorgeous, rather unstoppable ladies strength, resilience, and endless joy on this Women's Day, and of course, beyond this also. And I'm feeling honored. I'm feeling honored to share my views on this Women's Day with such and with the large group of eminent pharma professionals. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. Dr. Nasa sir, Dr. Manju Singh madam, and I also heard the views of Professor Kaur madam, and we went through his list of contributions to the pharma profession and her own journey, and he kept us moving through the journey of very powerful and strong ladies throughout his presentation and motivated us in a great manner. So thank you, madam, for that. And as you all know that I'm working as an Assistant Drugs Controller, Food and Drug Administration since 2010. I'm in this department. So I want your permission to share my screen. And being from the regulation side or as a regulator, I cannot stop myself about sharing some laws related to women. I cannot stop myself. So maybe sometimes I also came to know through the Dr. Manju Singh ma'am that many people from the regulation side or enforcement side are also there, and of course Dr. Nasa, who has a long career in this, to inspire us, to guide us, to motivate us, is there. So maybe I hope that you people will like it. So I'm just sharing my screen. Ma'am, it is saying host disabled participant screen sharing. So I am not able to share my screen.
Let me check, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Ma'am, now you just try.
Okay. Desktop. So I would like to, I have tried to compile certain things related to laws and related to issues or challenges that the woman used to face in whichever profession she is. So I will start with this lines which I found from internet and found relevant to all the ladies. I like the way the stretch marks on my thighs look human, and we have so soft yet rough and jungle wild when we need to be. I love that about us, how capable we are of feeling, how unafraid we are of breaking and tend to our wounds with grace. Just being a woman, calling myself a woman, makes me utterly whole and complete. So once again, happy Women's Day. I would like to give you people or to go to an insight of status of women, where we were since the ages and now where we are standing today. If we look back, we can say that during the Vedic period, in the Vedic period when we have when we look with the Vedas and all, we find that women were in sound position, and and this was considered to be a glorious period for the women, as they were free to travel, they were taking education, and they were treated as equal in every space, in every sphere of their life in the ancient society, and respect was there as comparable to men in the Vedic period. But later on, gradually, this the condition of women started, we should not say deteriorating, but the challenges were increased, because in the Vedic ages and in the ancient times, the woman was she used to be worshipped as goddess, and people used to pray them for energy from the power. Even more men than the women were praying the goddess for the sake of energy, for the sake of powers. We have seen that if you would have studied, uh, that Manu Smriti shlokas, or if you would have studied the stotras coming from the Durga Saptashati, that you might have heard, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Sanstita, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matra Rupena Sanstita, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Sanstita, Lakshmi Rupena Sanstita. For everything they were always asking, the men were always praying to the goddess for every kind of power they want to have. Then after the Vedic period, the post-Vedic period, when we come to the medieval period, the position in the society was deteriorating And during this period, what we say, जो कुप्रथाएं हम कहते हैं, कुप्रथाएं जो society में थी, that were prevailing. Sati pratha became the part, Parda pratha became the part, and polygamy was there. Then ban on the remarriages of widows was there. So these kind of bad rituals or bad systems were prevailing in the society in the medieval period. But in spite of these, when as Kaur Madam has already listed a lot of powerful ladies and strong ladies who have faced the challenges of their lives and became and got such a good status in the society and contributed to the society with their knowledge and wisdom. So in spite of all these, when one want to do something, he or she can do. So many ladies overcame all these, and fighting with all these, there were many women, many ladies who proved to be the best warriors or administrators or singers or great in cultural things and arts and all the ways. Then after this, so this medieval period was the start of deteriorating condition of the women. Then after medieval period, when we come to the British era, what happened in the British era, when the British people came, a sort of Western culture was also came along with them, and the females, the condition of female was, there were a lot of people who were thinking about that the women should get a good status and they should be free of all these bad systems in the prevailing in the society at the time of medieval era. And then certain things started, certain corrective measures were there, and like we can say, certain people from Indian community, such as Raja Ram Mohan Rai, you might have heard. So they were fighting for these women also, and they were trying to remove the improper or bad systems from the society that were limiting the women, that were limiting the freedom of the women, even that were suppressing the women in the society. Then came the post-independent era. In the post-independent era, so many representations were there. No doubt the people were influenced from the British culture also. And then so many representations were there in the post-independent era on the land and labor, kinships, marriages, politics, law and justice, against the violence and sexuality, and all certain things. Many representations were there, and sorry, this led to some this forced the people to think about the condition of the woman in that period, and they enacted certain things, certain provisions. They started making and thinking about the situation of the females. So these are certain. Some of these have already Kaur Madam has mentioned in his words. These are the ladies since from the 17th to 20th century also. They contributed a lot in every aspect of life or in every field, starting from the Ahilyabai Holkar or Sarojini Naidu or Suchita Kriplani or Lakshmi Sehgal, who's the woman who said to be the first lady in the army in the Azad Hind Fauj created by the Subhash Chandra Bose. Then Indira Gandhi, the great politician, was there, Kalpana Chawla, and many more. This list can be very long. So from the Vedic period, having a sound position, traveling to the post-independent era and to the current or present era, when we talk about the women, we see the women professionals in every aspect. This is a picture depicting the world's most powerful females enlisted in the Forbes list 2023, and these belong to the India. The most powerful lady of the India, our Honorable Finance Minister, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, and one we already know, the only entrepreneur, we can say, the only entrepreneur of that time, we can say, Ms. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, who is the executive chairperson and founder of the Biocon. So in the pharmaceutical entrepreneurship, this is the first and very strong, very powerful name which came to the mind is the Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. Then HCL Corporation Chairperson Roshni Radhar Malhotra is there, and also the fourth one is Soma Mondal, who is chairperson of Steel Authority of India Limited. So these are the, so what I'm trying to say, that we started from a status of like goddess worship during the Vedic period, and then suppressed, depressed, oppressed women fighting for her existence, fighting for her rights, and now we see women so powerful in the present scenario that they are enlisted in the Forbes list. But we are seeing these powerful ladies in advanced and progressed, having the advanced and progressed status and achieving new heights, and they have reached this level. But the question here is whether it is all good in the society with the women, whether all the women are having the same opportunities, whether the society is giving them equal rights. We talk about later on in my presentation, we will talk about the constitutional rights given to the women and the certain laws made especially for the women. But whether these are actually reaching to the needy ladies and whether they are making any change in their lives. So this is a question. And as far as this womankind is concerned, whether they are getting the equal rights, equal status, equal position. So we cannot say that it is not, that they are still so much suppressed. The women of India or the society or the world are still so much suppressed. We cannot say so. But at the same time, we have to show, no, not exactly. Not all the ladies in our society are getting equal rights. Equal rights, not only in the terms of men, rights equal to men, the right of equality, which is the constitutional right of a woman, but in comparison with other ladies also, they are not getting the equal rights, equal opportunities, or the conditions in which they can grow and bloom. So we can say that not exactly the scenario is such that all women may be so strong and can do so much for their society. And as this is a reflection, the growth or status of the woman reflect the civilization of a society or a country. So no society can be free, can be fair and just until its women enjoy freedom and justice and opportunity for unfoldment of their full potential. If they're not getting any society, if they are not giving rights to their women, then it is really unfair. So later on, we will also talk about the professional challenges that the women used to face during their at workplace, at home, during their life or during their journey. Before that, as I said earlier, that being from this side, I cannot stop myself to put these constitutional and legal provisions related to the women. So, and we should also know where what, because constitution is we got the freedom in 1947, and then our constitution came into existence later on. So constitution has everything. Everything is embedded in the constitution. Everything is emerging or is coming out from the constitution. So where we stand, where we as a woman, whether we are mentioned in the constitution, in our constitution, whether we are there, what constitution is or lawmakers are thinking about us is also important. We should know that. So there is Article 14 of the Constitution that embodies the general principles of equality before law and equal protection of laws. Equality and equal protection of laws. For this is general, this is for men, and for every person it means it is for the women or females of India also. Article 15, 1 and 2 prohibits the state from discriminating against any citizen only on the basis of one or more of the aspects such as religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. You cannot discriminate any person, including women, based upon any of these points. Then Article 15.3, it makes it possible for the state to create special provisions for protecting the interest of women and children. This Article 15.3 is important for us, and we can think that, okay, the Constitution thinks about us. Article 42 is there, which directs the state to make provisions for securing justice and humane conditions of work and for maternity relief. Article 15.1a is there, that enjoins upon every citizen to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women. They cannot harm the dignity of women. This is to maintain our dignity, to get equal opportunities at work, to get human conditions at work, and maternity relief, and so on. Equal opportunities for education. These are our constitutional rights. ये सभी women के, females के ये constitutional rights हैं. That we should know, and that we should think that we are protected with this. We are empowered this constitutional rights, and we should practice them. We should practice them, or we should follow them for the sake of womankind, as I can say. Then Article 15.4 is there, that capacitates the state to create special arrangements for promoting interest and welfare of socially and educationally backward classes of society. Article 39 requires the state to direct its policy towards securing for men and women equally the right to an adequate means of livelihood. And particularly Article 39A, that says equal pay for equal work for both men and women. This is an important provision which is given in the Constitution. We can say our constitutional right. Then after this, we should know about that. As I have earlier said, that in the medieval period, bad practices were started. And in the British era, during the British rule also, these were started and then amended many times and finally came to their final version. And these are the law which are made by the government to protect the women in India. The Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013, very important. Indecent Representation of Women Prevention Act 1996, Equal Remuneration Act 1976, Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971. So many are there, but we would especially talk about this third one, Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013. This is very much important because at workplace there are cases. Not everywhere, not every place, not in every profession, but it is there. It is there at any place. It can be there at any place. The women may face some kind of harassment, whether it may be physically or it may be verbal. Some kind of sexual harassment a women may feel at the workplace. So for that, every working professional, every working woman should be aware of this guidelines, which are called Vishakha guidelines or given by the Vishakha committee. And these guidelines are a set of procedural guidelines for use in India in cases of sexual harassment at workplace. They were promulgated by the Indian Supreme Court in 1997 and were superseded in 2013 by this act. Now, I would like to give some more information about this Vishakha committee. It should be there in every organization, be it government or private. It is clearly mentioned in these guidelines that every employer, it is the duty of every employer to give the safe and secure environment to work the women. And no one should make any kind of harassment to any woman employee there. So one can complain to their own Vishakha committee, it is the guideline of Supreme Court that everywhere, be it a private or a government organization, there should be a Vishakha committee headed by the chairperson of the committee should be a woman. And there she can complain about any kind of harassment. This is very easy to complain, and the complaints are taken up. There is a committee at our organization also. हमारे department में भी एक committee है. ये अगर आपने, if you would have heard about the case in the Rajasthan of Bhavri Devi. Bhavri Devi was a woman professional, एक development officer थी वो, जो कि डेवलपमेंट के लिए काम करती थी, और वो चाइल्ड रीमेरिजेस which was very common in the Rajasthan, child remarriages, she was working for that, and during her work she was gang raped by certain persons of the society, and she did not get the justice at the court of the Rajasthan, at the High Court, even at the High Court of the Rajasthan. Then there was a Vishaka committee who made the representation to the Supreme Court, and then Supreme Court finally get this guidelines, and these are very strong. Even one cannot make a comment. You do not need, a woman need not many proofs to prove that such and such person has harassed me in any manner. If there is no proof, if there is no evidence, the words of that woman, the word of that female are sufficient to prove that she has been harassed at the workplace. So this is very important. If it is not there at your organization, if someone is from some private organization, you should ask your employer, you should ask your authorities that we need this, right? Because it is very important for every working professional. Because what was the case earlier, before this 1997 guidelines? If women face sexual harassment at workplace, she has to lodge a complaint under section 354 of the IPC, Indian Penal Code. She has to lodge a complaint which deals with the criminal assault of women to outrage women's modesty, and section 509 that punishes an individual for using a word, gesture or act. Well, listen it carefully. Which punishes an individual or individuals for using a word, gesture or act intended to insult the modesty of a woman. Very clearly it has been stated. Any word, any gesture, any act that is intended to insult the modesty of woman. So earlier she has to, for lodging the complaint in IPC, she has to go to the police station, and she has to face many challenges. It is always challenging. Even as a regulator, it is challenging for me to go to the police station and lodge a criminal FIR under our act or during our works. It is really difficult. So for a woman to go there and to lodge the complaint, many women are afraid of that police station, many women are afraid of that kind of things, and they do not complain. And if they do not complain, they will be, they may be harassed again. So this is very important guideline that every woman should know, and ask to your employer that a Vishakha committee should be there to protect our rights. I would like to share some experience. I have been once the member of this committee at our department, and also the chairperson of this committee at our department. It is also, when the complaint comes to you, it is also very difficult to judge any of your male colleague for the act he has done and to pass the orders, and it is really difficult to pass order against him if he is found guilty. So this is a quasi-judicial thing, and everything has two aspects. Some ladies, some females also misuse the provisions of this guidelines. We also had similar case at our department. One lady who came with a complaint that so and so and so, these 2-3 people, they harassed me. But when we established, when we completed all the procedures, interrogated the related people, and we came to know, no, this is a false complaint. And one should also know that if you are making a false complaint, orders may be passed against you and you may be punished. So we should not, or one should not misuse these guidelines, which are for the protection of womankind. Now, again, after these legislative measures, coming back to the question whether these protection through these provisions and all जो हम जितना भी हम बात करते हैं वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट की, कि दिस दैट ये ऐसा वैसा सारा तमाम जो तामझाम होता है, क्या ये एक्चुअली कहीं हेल्प कर रहा है टू अपलिफ्ट द स्टेटस ऑफ वुमेन इन द सोसाइटी? तो हाँ, कर रहा है, बट at many places nothing is absolute. We are all science people, nothing is absolute. कुछ भी absolute नहीं है, तो कहीं ना कहीं there are many lacunas, there are many areas where the women still feel what we can suppress. Now, where we the farmer women as professionals are, we all know, we are in this today's conference also, the ladies are from academics, they may be from the regulatory framework, they may be scientists, there are researchers. I heard about core madam, and I was proud enough to hear his biodata. Pharmacists are there, administrators are there, entrepreneurs are very much less, and the first and foremost and very strong name which came to our mind from pharmaceutical entrepreneurs is Kiran Majumdar Shaw. That Dr. Nasa sir, madam, and repeatedly I am also mentioning her contributions. So we may be any of these, we may belong to any of this pharmaceutical domain. And I would like to mention this quote also: we all move forward when we recognize how resilient and striking the women around us are. So when we talk about womankind, we should think every woman at whichever post or position she is, we should think equally for her rights and for her problems also at a workplace. And then only if we can do this, we can do a part of this, then we will say that okay, we belong to the womankind and we are working for the womankind. We think about the womankind. That means we think about ourselves. These are certain challenges and issues that any woman may face at workplace from whichever domain she belongs to. Pay disparity, though it is a constitutional right of women, is given there, but pay disparity is there, sexual harassment may be there, pregnancy discrimination is there, imposter syndrome is there, as Madam Nasa explained, as Professor Kaur explained. We ourselves think like, oh, we do not deserve this. We may have feeling like कि हम इसको deserve नहीं करते हैं, हमको ये इन्होंने दिया, जैसे मैडम ने कहा हमको ये इन्होंने दिया, हम तो इसको डिजर्व नहीं कर रहे थे, इनके कारण से ये हुआ, ये हमारे कारण से नहीं हुआ, वी वर नॉट द डिजर्विंग. तो ऐसा लो कॉन्फिडेंस फीलिंग और ऐसा फीलिंग हो सकता है, ये सिंड्रोम होता है फीमेल्स में. लैक ऑफ इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं मिलते हैं. इट इज डिफिकल्ट, दिस वन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर आप सोचेंगे, हम आज इस फोरम में जितने भी लेडीज हैं, जितने भी प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, उनका, जैसे मैडम ने कहा कि उनका सबका कुछ ना कुछ एक स्टोरी रहा है और सबने कुछ ना कुछ देखा होगा ड्यूरिंग देयर जर्नी. मे नॉट बी विद यू, बट मे बी विद सम अदर वन हु इज वर्किंग विद अस और एट अनदर प्लेस. कहीं ना कहीं सभी ने देखा होगा, और ये चीज तो हर किसी ने फील किया होगा, डिफिकल्ट टू ओवरकम द कैरियर गैप रिजॉइनिंग द वर्कफोर्स. जब आप किसी गैप के बाद में, we feel good that government is now giving 6 months maternity leave. Earlier it was 3 months, then it became 4.5 months, then it became, in 2012 it became 6 months, like central government. So we are happy, okay, that this much time we need to recover. But after 6 months, half year is passed when you will be back to your work. So where you find yourself? हमको उससे ओवरकम करने में, उस गैप से ओवरकम करने में हमको बहुत टाइम लग जाता है. ये कुछ अदर एरियाज के लिए कुछ डिफरेंट हो सकता है, लेकिन मैं अगर अपनी ही बात करूं, अगर मैं अपने ही डिपार्टमेंट की बात करूं, तो व्हेन आई ज्वाइंड 6 or 8 months later after the gap, then I lost all my contacts, I lost my workplace, I have to start again, and I have to start to establish I have to work hard for establishing all the contacts and also the pending work for me. So 6 months pending work, some kind of pending work. जैसे अगर मैं अपनी बात करूं 2012 में मैंने मैटरनिटी लीव लिया और 13 के इन मिड ऑफ 13 आई ज्वाइन, तो ऑलमोस्ट इट वाज 7 months और दैट वाज अ ट्रांजिशन पीरियड जब हम मैनुअल सिस्टम से ऑनलाइन सिस्टम में आ रहे थे। तो किसी न किसी को तो मेरा चार्ज रहा होगा, उसने काम भी किया होगा, बट ओनली द नेसेसरी एंड अर्जेंट वर्क इज बीइंग डन यूजुअली एंड द रेस्ट ऑफ इज लेफ्ट with you whenever you will be back, say after 6 or 9 months or 1 year। तो वो जो एक खुदा है, तो मुझे रात को मुझे आफ्टर टेकिंग केयर ऑफ ऑल, जब मेरा बेटा जब सो जाता था उसके बाद रात को 10 बजे से लेकर के मुझे कई बार रात को 12-12 1-1 बजे तक भी मुझे काम करके अपना पेंडेंसी को खत्म करना पड़ा, क्योंकि वो हमारे लिए एक ट्रांजिशन फेज भी था। हमेशा ऐसा नहीं होता, लेकिन इट वाज अ ट्रांजिशन फेज। और उसके बाद पता चला जब हम 1 बजे फ्री होते हैं तो 2 बजे ही यूज्ड टू गेट अप अगेन, he used to wake up again, फिर आप then you again take care of him, and this is a big problem for nucleus families where there is a family support, it becomes a little easy, but for nucleus families it is very hard to tackle these challenges। तो ये कहीं ना कहीं सभी लेडीज इस चीज को फेस करती होंगी। देन इग्नोरेंस एंड लेक ऑफ सेंसिटिविटी, लोग सेंसिटिव नहीं होते हैं, ठीक है, दो इट इज, ये हमारा जो सेल्फ रेस्पेक्ट है वो हमको अलाउ नहीं करता। इफ वी आर आस्किंग, जैसे कि प्रोफेसर कौर ने कहा, इफ वी आर आस्किंग फॉर इक्वल राइट्स, वी शुड नॉट मेक ourselves victim, okay I have this problem and I have that problem। तो हमको वो नहीं करना है, वो भी नहीं करना है हमको। वी वांट इक्वल पे, वी वांट इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज, वी वांट इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज। तो हम अपने आप को विक्टिम नहीं बना सकते, लेकिन लोगों का सेंसिटिव होना जरूरी है, ठीक है, वरीज केस टू केस। Then it was also there being asked the wrong questions in interviews. This also may be the case. Now, अभी इससे क्या हो रहा है, ये जो सारे challenges आ रहे हैं, इससे क्या हो रहा है कि कहीं ना कहीं mental pressure women kind में बढ़ रहा है, और वो mental pressure बढ़ने के कारण से mental issues या health issues उनको आ रहे हैं। This all makes a what we say in scientific terminology psychosocial environment at workplace and at home also। अब जैसे अपॉर्चुनिटीज की हम बात करें या इस तरह से हम बात करें, तो सेंसिटिविटी की हम बात करें, तो व्हाट हैपेंड विद मी वंस, एक दिन मुझे रात को 10 बजे मेरे एक बॉस का फोन, एक सीनियर ऑफिसर का फोन आता है और वो बोलते हैं कि देयर इज सच एंड सच, देयर इज सम इशू, सो ऑल दिस डिस्ट्रिक्ट इंस्पेक्टर्स आर कॉल्ड टू द ऑफिस, सो यू कम टू ऑफिस। आई कैन नॉट आस्क हिम कि सर रात 10 बजे, आई हैव अ 6 month-old 7 month-old बेबी, रात 10 बजे आप अभी मुझे आने बोल रहे हैं, अभी मुझे अकेले आना है 10 किलोमीटर दूर, सो हाउ आई विल डू दिस, नो आई हैव टू गो, आई कैन नॉट से दैट। देन ऐसा भी होता है वहां पे लेक ऑफ सेंसिटिविटी, दिस वी से। ऐसा भी होता है जब मैं वहां पे पहुंची तो अनदर सीनियर ऑफिसर, ही टोल्ड टू मी व्हाई यू केम, एक मुझे बुला रहा है, कह रहा है आप क्यों आ गए, आपको नहीं आती तो भी हम काम कर लेते। तो दिस इज कॉल्ड लैक ऑफ सेंसिटिविटी, ठीक है, मैं नहीं मना कर सकती, बिकॉज आई वांट इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज, आई हैव टू गो। एंड वन मोर थिंग, यू हैव टू बी स्ट्रांग, you should have mental strength, you should have physical strength। जैसे बस देयर वाज अ केस, कुछ जब कोई केस हो जाता है, जब कोई रेड हो जाता है, तो देयर वाज अ केस एंड दैट वाज इन माय जुरिडिक्शन एरिया। सो आफ्टर दैट फॉर इन्वेस्टिगेशन आई स्टार्टेड in morning 8 a.m. and at that time my son was he was only I think 1.5 or 2 year old he was। I started at morning 8 and I came back 1:45 a.m. in night। So sometimes we may have this much long duration of hours, लेकिन हम नहीं कह सकते कि भाई ये मेरा काम है, मेरी जिम्मेदारी है, मेरा वर्क है, बट नहीं 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 भाई मुझे तो अब जाना ही है। और समटाइम्स द सिचुएशन आर सच दैट यू कैन नॉट टेक अ ब्रेक, आप ब्रेक भी नहीं ले सकते। कभी आपका अथॉरिटी आपको बुला रहा है, कभी आपका सेक्रेटरी आपको आपसे डिटेल मांग रहा है, कभी आपका अथॉरिटी डिटेल मांग रहा है, कभी रिपोर्टर्स आकर के सामने खड़े हैं, कभी मीडिया में कुछ हाइप हो गया है, आप नहीं कर सकते। तो आपको इसके लिए व्हाट वी नीड स्ट्रेंथ, हमको मेंटल स्ट्रेंथ भी चाहिए, हमको फिजिकल स्ट्रेंथ भी चाहिए, हमको ये भी चाहिए कि हम बिना ज्यादा कुछ खाए पिए थोड़ा समोसा और चाय में हम अपना पूरा एक दिन भी निकालने, फिर हमको इतना करेजेस भी होना पड़ेगा. दिस इज नॉट विद द रेगुलेटर्स, ये आप लोगों के साथ में भी, सभी के साथ हो सकता है. आप अपने रिसर्च में हैं और आपको लग रहा है नहीं ये तो मुझे अभी करना पड़ेगा, यू हैव टू स्टे टिल नाइट. हमने आप सभी ने शायद देखा होगा वैक्सीन स्टोरी मूवी आया था, उसमें दो इज देयर हेड वाज अ मैन, लेकिन जो उसमें टीम था, लीड टीम था फॉर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ऑफ दैट वैक्सीन, मैक्सिमम लेडीज वर देयर. एंड हाउ good or how commendable their effort was that we came with the vaccine. और इंडिया ने इतना वैक्सीन लाया, इंडिया ने इतना वैक्सीन प्रोड्यूस किया, इंडिया ने इतना वैक्सीन एक्सपोर्ट किया, फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट एक्सपोर्ट किया. और उसमें अगर आपने देखा होगा तो कितना उनको चैलेंजेस था. लोग, there were the people who were not believing the vaccine, the what we say safety and efficacy of the vaccine. उस पे भी क्वेश्चन कर रहे थे. उन्होंने अपना घर बार बच्चे, अगर हम एकदम रॉ लैंग्वेज में मैं कहूँ तो घर बार बच्चे सबको पीछे छोड़ करके दे आर स्ट्रगलिंग एंड दे आर ट्राइंग टू गिव समथिंग टू द सोसाइटी, दे आर ट्राइंग टू गिव समथिंग टू द ह्यूमन काइंड. और इतने चैलेंजेस के बाद वो जब लेकर के आते हैं तो उसमें भी लोग क्वेश्चन करते हैं. हाउ डिफिकल्ट एंड इंस्पायरिंग देयर स्टोरी वाज. तो ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें होती है. वन डे वन ऑफ आवर कंट्रोलर ही प्लान्ड अ रेड. He did not tell us where you have to go. He just told us, okay, you be here, you be at office by 3 a.m. 3 बजे सुबह आप ऑफिस आ जाना, हमको रेड करना है. हमको कहाँ रेड करना है हमको नहीं मालूम. तो आई कैन नॉट से नो, आई कैन नॉट गो. मुझे सुबह 3 बजे भी वहां पहुंचना है, मुझे अपनी सेफ्टी भी इंश्योर करनी है, क्योंकि छोटे प्लेसेस, दिस इज नॉट वी कैन नॉट से इट इज अ स्मॉल प्लेस, लेकिन सेफ्टी इज एन इशू. आप रात को अगर 3 बजे जा रहे हैं तो आपकी सेफ्टी आपके ऊपर है. योर व्हाट वी कैन से दैट आपके अथॉरिटीज या आपका जो डिपार्टमेंट है वो आपका इतना सेफ्टी नहीं दे रहा है, लेकिन आपको रात को 3 बजे भी पहुंचना है, आपको रात को 1 बजे भी आना है, तो यू हैव टू मैनेज इट बाय योरसेल्फ ओनली. तो हमको एट द सेम टाइम अपना सेफ्टी भी इंश्योर करना है. एंड देयर वर इंस्टेंसेस व्हेन आवर ऑफिसर सेड नो दिस टाइम यू विल गो टू दैट ट्रेनिंग or for that meeting you will go to Delhi, you will go to there. And I really have to beg, sir, please leave me for another 8 months, 6 months or year. Let my son grow 2.5 or 3 year old, then I will go. So I really have to beg to him that, sir, please. ठीक है कि मैं चाहती हूँ इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज, मैं भी चाहती हूँ कि मुझे जाना है, करना है, वो मुझे भेजने तैयार है, ही इज फोर्सिंग मी टू गो, लेकिन मेरे और भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज हैं, तो मुझे बैक करना पड़ा. भाई मैं नहीं जा सकती, मुझे 6-8 महीने के लिए आप और छोड़ दीजिए, देन आई विल बी एबल टू गो एंड देन आई विल नॉट रिफ्यूज दिस. So such kinds of challenges may be everywhere in any domain or at any workplace. We, the women, may face such kind of challenges. तो अभी हम बात कर रहे थे, we were talking about the psychosocial environment. Because of these pressures, mental illness या mental health issues, not only so see the scenario of present society or current environment has been changed after this. We can say this information technology, when it came, when it developed. So by the development of this, there are so many things which we can say that they have contributed, it has contributed to the mental health issues of the society. So in every person, in men and women, it is there, health issues are there, but women faces it more because she has to maintain a balance. उसको एक balance करना है at work and home. तो उसके कारण से जो सोशल एनवायरनमेंट होता है वो उसके साइकोलॉजी पे क्या इफेक्ट डालता है, उसके कारण से बहुत सारे मेंटल इश्यूज हो रहे हैं. वी कैन से दैट दिस एजुकेशन एंड एम्प्लॉयमेंट आर टू इम्पोर्टेंट वेरिएबल्स इन मेंटेनिंग द सेल्फ स्टीम. हम तभी से बात कर रहे हैं जब से द कंडीशन ऑफ वुमेन स्टार्टेड डिटेरियोरेटिंग एंड दे वर फीलिंग सप्रेस्ड एंड ऑप्रेस्ड. Since then we are talking about women rights and we are trying to lift their status up. We are trying to give them safe, secure environment and all the things that they want, then they deserve. So education and employment, these are the two things by which we are trying to uplift their status. But experiences like self-worth, autonomy, competence, financial security, physical and sexual safety, all essential for mental well-being. हम उनको एजुकेशन के लिए भी प्रमोट कर रहे हैं, मोटिवेट कर रहे हैं, हम उनको एम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए भी कर रहे हैं, लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम हमको ये सारी चीजें भी इंश्योर करनी है. एंड इफ वी लैग समवेयर, इफ देयर आर सम लेकिंग्स, तो उनका मेंटल वेलबींग डिस्टर्ब होगा. एंड large mental well-being is denied to a large number of Indian women in rural and even urban setting. I'm not talking much about the developed countries and or the other countries. My all talk is limited to our country only. क्योंकि जब हम इसी को नहीं समझ पाएंगे तो हम बाहर वालों को हम क्या समझेंगे. आफ्टर ऑल वी हैव टू डील विद दिस नेशन ऑल्सो. तो पहले तो हमको अपने जगह से अपने कंट्री से ही हमको अपना सोच को आगे बढ़ाना होगा, तभी हम कुछ कर पाएंगे. अब इसमें जो एक इम्पोर्टेंट चीज होती है, एज आई सेड दैट वी हैव टू बी, वुमेन हैव टू बी स्ट्रांग मेंटली एंड फिजिकली. So many things or mental well-being of a person or a woman depends upon the perception of that woman to the psychosocial environment, the environment which she's getting at her home or at workplace. These are certain facts. More women reporting experiencing high levels of anxiety than men. 2023 का ये नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ हेल्थ एंड साइंस का रिपोर्ट है. An average of 37.1% of women and 29.9% of men reported high level of anxiety. You can see there are more women who are facing the anxiety. When compared to the data, it has increased significantly from 21.8%. It was in 2015 and 18.3% for men. So 21 से हम 37.1% पर आ गए हैं, जबकि every woman at some place at some time she is feeling anxious. इसमें भी अगर आप और थोड़ा सा डीपली देखेंगे, homemakers had 1.2 times higher anxiety and 1.3 times higher stress than working women. So somewhere we can say that involvement in activities outside the home may help women to reduce stress. वो चीज स्ट्रेस बढ़ा भी सकती है, स्ट्रेस कम भी कर सकती है. It all depends upon the perception of that lady towards the environment she is getting. So she has to be strong. जैसे मुझे प्रोफेसर कौर का मुझे याद है, उन्होंने कहा था कि भाई आपको ये भी करना है, आपको वो भी करना है, बट समवेयर यू हैव टू से नो, आई कैन नॉट डू दिस. अभी मेरी ये भी लाइबिलिटीज है, सब है, लेकिन मुझे ये भी करना है. सो यू हैव टू decide when you have to say no. So I think I'm taking much time. I don't know what the time exactly is. So these are certain facts that due to this psychosocial environment, the health of women is getting worse. Now there is time to change lens about women. हमको अपना नजरिया बदलना पड़ेगा, हमको अपना व्यू बदलना पड़ेगा. सभी को ये भी कुछ फैक्ट्स ही हैं जो बताते हैं कि कहाँ कहाँ कितना over a third of 1/3 of women, 36% of women are facing extensive physical and sexual violence in both childhood and adulthood, and they have attempted for suicide. अगर देखें तो 1 in 7 young women 16 to 24 year old उनको पोस्ट ट्रॉमेटिक डिसऑर्डर्स हैं, साइकोसोमेटिक डिसऑर्डर्स हैं उनको. तो ये सारी चीजें कहीं ना कहीं हम जब ग्रो कर रहे हैं तो ये फैक्टर्स भी हैं जिनको हमको कंसिडर करना पड़ेगा, और इसमें एज अ वुमेन वी कैन प्ले अ मेजर रोल. हम हमारे यहाँ से जो whoever the child, the daughter-in-law, whoever is going out for work, we can give support to them and we can make their work easy. So we have to change our lens about their problems, and we have to try to reduce these psychosocial causes that may cause mental health problem in women. एक चीज देखिए, what is happening with women. They are trying to be independent, they are trying to develop their psychology towards themselves, they are trying to establish their identity, they are trying that they are important. But what is happening at home, expectations of their at home or in the society, they may be different. They want them to attend same kind of rituals, to follow same kind of life. So they want to establish their identity, but they are pulling back due to that social environment of their home also. ये एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो रहा है कि वो चाह रही है कि हाँ मैं कुछ हूँ, लेकिन फिर अल्टीमेटली क्या हो जाता है, नहीं आई हैव टू थिंक इन रिलेशन विद ऑल दिस, तो मैं नहीं हूँ, मैं इन रिलेशन विद ऑल दिस हूँ. तो हमें अपना ये जो ट्रांजिशन हो रहा है और ये जो एक कंफ्यूजन है, ठीक है, that who is not in relation but is an independent identity, सभी जो सोसाइटी है, सोसाइटी को ये सोचना होगा, इस ट्रांजिशन को समझना होगा, एंड द सोसाइटी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस ट्रांजिशन, एंड society should encourage them, empower them to be an independent identity and not always in relation. She will be in relation with, but not in always in relation. So therefore, it needs to inspire inclusion. Inclusion. This is the theme of International Women's Day 2024. WHO theme is also inspire inclusion. Abhi inclusion. When we inspire others to understand and value women's inclusion, we forge a better world for ourselves. And when women themselves are inspired to be included, there is a sense of belonging, relevance, and empowerment. Abhi collective efforts only can forge a more inclusive world for women. अभी हम ये कैसे कर सकते हैं? How can we do this? How we can accomplish this? Professor Kaur has already mentioned many points how we should motivate and encourage and empower the ladies to be included in everything. As she has given an example, how many of us file our IT returns, or how many of us take our financial decisions to where to invest and what to invest. Even if I'm talking about myself, many a times, not many a times, almost every time, I used to forget my internet banking password. And when I have to do some transaction, I always have to ask my husband, please tell me my password. So this is almost always I used to forget, and he has to tell me, oh, this is your password, and you do your transaction. So this may be case with many others also, and may not be. As madam has already said that some women are filing the returns for their husbands too. So there are many ways we can inspire the inclusion. We have to start it from ourselves. So with this lines, I would like to end this. Together, let's all help fight the good fight. Good fight. When women are not present, we must ask, if not, why not? Why they are not in this domain? जैसे हम हमारे डोमेन की बात करें तो when I joined, we were only 3 in the states. Government has given 33% reservation to the women. This is also a very good factor that women are increasing in every sector. When I heard about that, one of my friends, she has been selected for an IPS or so and so. So we feel proud that now women are getting opportunities. But challenges they are facing at that workplace are also need to be addressed with and to be dealt with very strongly. So we must ask, if not, why not? When women are discriminated against, we must call out poor practice. When the treatment of women is not equitable, we must take action. And we must do this each time and every time. And always remember, your voice is your sovereignty, it is your integrity. You can only raise voice for yourself at your workplace, at your home, at everywhere. So I think we should leave the rest, but at least we can initiate inclusion with ourselves, with our family, with our surroundings, with our profession, and let's try to make inspiring the inclusion of women and making this world more beautiful for the womankind. So thank you very much, Dr. Mahalakshmi, Dr. Manju Singh, Madam Garg, Professor Kaur, NASA sir, Madam, and all of you for listening me and giving this opportunity to be here with such eminent professionals. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was an excellent session. As a drugs inspector, I know what all things you told because all these things happened to me also. So I can understand that all things. So anyway, as you said, we have to come up with all those things and we have to prove ourselves. Yeah, that's a task. That we are also facing, and it was a nice session. I am handing over the session to my co-coordinator, Dr. Sri Lakshmi ma'am. Oh,
Thank you, Mahalakshmi. Very good afternoon to one and all. And on this auspicious day, I would like to say Happy International Women's Day to all the wonderful women in the world and as well as who are present over here. As a part of this, I would like to thank our today's guest speaker, Dr. Tripathi Jain, ma'am. And our other speaker, Dr. Indu Kaur, ma'am. Both have shown us the two sides of a coin, where Indu Kaur ma'am has been explained about the what are the things we will face and how to pull up with them and coming the research and other fields, as well as Tripathi Jain ma'am has shown that if you are having the problems, what are the things we are having in the government so that we can pull up with those things with the help of the law and all those things. So that is what the two sides of a coin, where a woman should know about how to come up and how to pull up. Both should be known by a woman, which was enlightened by our speakers today. So there are the different aspects which have been given by Tripathi Jain ma'am about the constitutional and legal professionals and the about in different fields which a woman can know and should use. The Article 15.3 which she has been given is having very good impact, because nowadays we are looking harassments in the workplace, where women has been harassed in the workplace very much. So how we have to take part in that and how we can come up with that according to law, how we can come out of that, and all these things have been very nicely exaggerated and explained by madam. Thank you so much for those words, ma'am. And the laws in women in India and many issues, psychological issues and social issues, as well as the anxiety levels of the women, how they are, why the housewife people are having more anxiety than the working woman is a very good example, because nowadays every woman is studying. In prior days, as after independence, ma'am has told many different fields where the woman is coming enlightened. And afterwards, after the independence, we can say that every child, every woman child, or every child, every girl child is going to be educated, and everybody wants to be there on their own legs. So in that sense, if a woman is not able to work or do something by coming outside, means it is all the circumstances which are facing by her, which leads to the anxiety levels of a woman, in my view. So I would like to add a note that all the housewives who are facing more anxiety means because a working woman will have a refreshment by going outside the woman, apart from cooking, taking care of the child, taking care of the elders. All these things are routinely which are happening in a woman life. So when we come out of that and when we are doing something else, so it will give a refreshment for a woman. So in that sense, the anxiety levels of a woman, household woman, and there is a change in the anxiety levels of a working woman. So I would like to thank each and everybody, and I would like to thank on the onset for giving this opportunity by Dr. Atul Natha sir, and I would like to thank Manju ma'am, and as well as I would like to thank Madhu ma'am for giving such an inspirational speech on this platform, and I am very glad to share this platform on this auspicious day. Thank you so much, and over to Geeta ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Dr. D. Sri Lakshmi ma'am and Mahalakshmi ma'am. And now we come to the end of this national conference on International Women's Day. And I am deeply honored to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to on behalf of organizing committee. First and foremost, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our esteemed speakers, Dr. Indu Palkor ma'am and Dr. Tripti Jain ma'am. Your insightful presentations and valuable contributions have enriched our discussion and inspired us to strive for greater heights in the field of women empowerment. And it's my pleasure to thank Dr. Madhu Nasa ma'am for sharing her valuable time for us. I would like also thank to Dr. Atul Nasa for his unwavering support and commitment to cause of women's empowerment. I want to thank all the zonal coordinators and all team members of IPGA Women Forum for working so hard to make this event happen. Your dedication really made this conference a success. A special mention must be made to Dr. Jayabalan Govindaswamy sir, IPGA Joint Secretary, for providing invaluable technical support throughout this event. Sir, your expertise and assistance have been invaluable in ensuring the smooth execution of our conference. I would also like to express our sincere gratitude to Dr. Manju Singh ma'am and Dr. Vandana ma'am. This event would not have been possible without yours combined support, ma'am. Last but not least, I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the participants and volunteers for their contribution and support. Your presence and enthusiasm have made this conference a truly memorable and impactful experience. Finally, I would like to extend gratitude to myself for successfully executing this event, as I believe in appreciate yourself, always there for yourself, and one more thing, clap for others until it's your turn. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.
Thank you so
much. It was
much.
really wonderful.
Thank you, everyone. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Kaur ma'am, Tripti Jain ma'am.
Congratulations, ma'am.
It
Congratulations.
was really wonderful listening you. We are really thankful to the entire team of IPGA Women Forum.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations to all the committee members for organizing such a wonderful event. And I must congratulate to all of you. This is our first event, and I think we will continue with this more event in future.
This is just a beginning. So we are really looking forward for the more series of events after this. Thank you so much.
So keep it up now and plan some more events now in the future. That is more important.
Congratulations to